Yeah? One of the reasons Noah is a preacher of righteousness is because every single detail captured in the account of Noah and the great flood speak of Jesus Christ. Yeah? Perhaps that's why he was called the preacher of righteousness. Let's read on. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark, you and your sons and your wife and your sons' wives with you, and you shall bring into the ark 2 of every kind of every living thing of all flesh, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. 2 of every kind shall come to you to keep them alive, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after every kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. And take yourself all food that is eaten, and you shall gather for yourself, and it shall be for food, for you and for them. Noah did so according to all that God commanded him, so he did. You know, Noah built the ark over a span of 120 years. Methuselah was about 300 years old when Noah was born. Yeah? So, just as we're talking about the end times now, you know, people have different reactions to end times talk. Some people are fearful, as I'm sure some of Noah's contemporaries were, saying, oh my gosh, I wonder if we're pre, mid, or post-trib. Yeah, what's going to happen when the price of wheat, oil, and wine goes sky high? Yeah, what's going to happen when the war starts, or what's going to happen when we're forced to take the mark and we refuse? Yeah, so I'm sure during that time there were a lot of people worried about what's going to happen during the end times. And a lot of it is written in the books of Daniel, Ezekiel, and Revelation, describing the things that would take place. And it's scary. Yeah? And I'm sure, while Noah was growing up, people were saying, you see your lolo, Methuselah, when he dies, the flood will come. Yare. Yeah? But somehow, there's a reason why Peter called Noah a preacher of righteousness. So there must have been something in the attitude of Noah's heart that said, don't worry, God will make a way. And true enough, what we've seen so far is that the design, the specifications of the ark were given to Noah by God. So God did make a way. Let's read on some more. And they that entered went in male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and Jehovah shut him in. Yeah, he didn't shut himself in, Jehovah shut him in. Yeah? And every living thing which was on the face of the earth was destroyed, from man to cattle, and to the creeping things, and the fowls of the heavens, and they were destroyed from the earth, and only Noah was left, and those that were with him in the ark. Yeah? So that's the first chewing of this Bible verse. Let's chew it a second time. Haga. Yeah? Hindi pa pala tapos. Yeah? Make an ark of cypress. Okay, let's see. This is our second chewing. Make an ark. This is the way you shall make it. So clearly, it's God's design. Yeah? And I believe somehow Noah knew this. Yeah? I'm not sure if there's proof for it. Let's study a little bit more. But God says that I alone know the plans I have for you, plans to bring you prosperity and not disaster. This is true even today. While we're talking about the second coming of Christ, the coming tribulation, the invasion of Gog and Magog into Israel, yeah? Plans to bring out the future you hope for. We also better be careful what we hope for, because we shall have what we hope for. So whatever it is we fear in the future, guess what will happen? You shall have what you hope for. But if you focus on Christ, you know that the future will only bring prosperity, happiness, plenty, and blessings. Yeah? So part of our construction of our ark is about right believing. Yeah? So you shall have what you hope for Be careful what you hope for. Yeah? And hope for the right things. Hebrews says, the works were finished from the foundation of the world. Yeah? So the flood didn't catch Noah by surprise, neither did it catch God by surprise. You know, God didn't send the flood because man was wicked. He knew that man would fall astray, and so he hatched a divine plan from the foundation of the world to save man. And he even designed the ark before the great flood. Yeah? Let's read on a little bit more. And here we start to see the beauty of Christ. Yeah? You shall make rooms in the ark. You know, whenever somebody invites you to their place, if they have a rest house in the province, and of course they invite the whole family, perhaps, yeah? It just makes you feel so welcome when the rooms are prepared. You know, they just don't give you the keys. But when you arrive at their rest house, you know, the towels are folded, there are slippers waiting for you. You feel so welcome. There's a personal invitation. And Christ says, in my Father's house there are many mansions. If it were not so, I wouldn't have told you. Yeah? But I go to prepare a place for you. Yeah? So make rooms in the ark. Could it be? Could it be that in the Old Testament this foretold of Christ's personal invitation for you, and that He prepares a room for you in His Father's house? Yeah? Maybe. Let's read on a little bit more. And you shall pitch it inside and outside with pitch. What could that mean? Does anybody know what pitch is? It's not, it's not a baseball thing. Yeah? It's not that either. Pitch is actually tar. Yeah? It's black tar. It's a sticky substance that they use to waterproof the boat. Modern times it's called basilia, but back then it was called pitch. It was a thick black waterproof substance. And normally you would only pitch a boat outside because the water is coming from outside, not from inside. But the curious thing about this is God gave instructions for Noah to pitch it both inside and out. Why? I believe it's because we were supposed to be inside the ark. Yeah? God never changes, and our status in Christ never changes. But, whenever inside the ark, and the boat is tossing and turning, we might fall, but Christ never changes. His grace never changes, yeah? So Christ is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And whatever it is we do cannot subtract from the gift of grace, cannot subtract from His perfections. Yeah, even if other people accuse us of preaching a perverted gospel, that no matter what we do, we're still upright in the eyes of our Father, it still doesn't change the good news. Because Christ is our ark.